All right, I do believe we are live. Uh, my name is Jaime J. I am the Managing Director for Bottleneck Virtual Assistants, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business. This is my Wednesday morning Facebook Live. So we come to you every Wednesday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central, which would be 7:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 a.m. Mountain, and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm here in beautiful Springfield, Missouri, the southwest corner of Missouri. And if you know where Branson is, we're about 45 minutes north of Branson. So really love this area. It's a lot of fun. And just got back from walking the dog there and just enjoyed the weather out there. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to create a workflow for your virtual assistant. This is a really neat topic. The reason why I want to bring this up today is because it is very critical to be able to set the expectations for your staff. But what might even be more important than that is that your staff understands what's expected of you. So this is an open line of communication. Communication is key, as we all know, but in order to be in a position to delegate effectively, you have to have a clear and concise directive or message. Yes, the underlying mission or vision of what your company is always helps with regards to where the ultimate goal, the organization, the business wants to go. But specifically, more importantly, when you delegate something, it needs to have two elements for any delegation. Number one, you need to have a job, roles, and responsibility. And number two, in my opinion, you need to have a workflow. So a lot of times people that bring on staff, they kind of just wing it and they go through the motions. And as things come up, they kind of deal with it together. And I hear this all the time is, I'll do this and then I'll give it to somebody and they kind of do it in wrong. And then I have to go back and redo it. He goes, and that's exactly why I don't want an assistant. This is very challenging, especially in the beginning. And that's why it's so important to understand. And if you've already hired somebody, you can still do it. It's not too late. However, best practice would be to do this before you're even ready to hire. And you guys hear me say this all the time, do something is the last time I'm ever going to do it. Thank you, Scott Peavy, again. But what I do is I like to record my processes. So as I do something, well, nowadays I have the benefit of having so much support. They're able to help me do this. So I can verbalize or voice my thoughts and they help to record it. But we do this in two ways here at Bottleneck. We either do it in written form or we do it via video recording. So I can record what it is. Our meetings, we can record those. If we come up with systems and processes within those meetings, we can use those to ultimately write down what it is that we want to do. So those two things. Number one, in order to be able to delegate properly, you need to understand what the work job role and responsibilities are. Number two, what it is that you're going to be delegating by creating the workflow. So what I'm going to do with you today is I'm going to share with you a job role that we created here within Bottleneck, and then I'm going to show you the workflow, one of the workflows that we created here. So you can get a kind of an idea of what it is that, that this looks like, that we do, and how it works. So one of the roles that we have here is a content writer. And Roanne is an unbelievable researcher. She's really good with analytics, and she's an incredible writer because she does such thorough research. And she's also the author of our site maps. So whenever we work on a new website or a new landing page or a new subdomain, anything like that, she writes out the workflows so we can get a visual snapshot of what we want to have happen. Much in the same way that if you create a job role, you can create a workflow so that that individual that is working with you understands, kind of visually understands what's needed, what they need to do in order to accomplish things, and what's expected of them. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen here, and you just have to bear with me because I'm just going to kind of share the entire screen. So you're going to probably see multiple stuff come up here, but hopefully you can see this. So I'm just in my project management tool. We use Basecamp here, but I wanted to show you this. So what we've done is initially I created a job role and we had a form for that. But as we grew, I wanted each one of our staff to recreate their own job roles and responsibilities. And then it gave me a chance to review what it is that they believe their job roles and responsibilities are. And I could make sure that when they did that, I could either make any suggestions or tweaks or anything like that. So what we did here is, you can see this is Roanne, and she's the content writer. And she basically broke down exactly what her roles and responsibilities are for Bottleneck within the organization, right? Now, here's what's really cool. I can take a look at this and I can say, okay, it's a single point of accountability for the day-to-day content writing and copywriting at business. Vision, heightened website traffic, engagement, conversions, and leads through content tailored for website needs. What's her mission for this specific role is to create copies in the form of blogs, pillar articles, show notes, and web content for both client-based and company-related jobs. Values, research-driven, creative, she's articulate, she's detail-oriented, adaptable, intentional, and a team player. And I can tell you, by knowing Roanne, she's every one of these and more. She's amazing. So this is what part of her job role is research. It's literature review, content requirements, keywords, latest trends, and competitors. And you know how I know that she practices this? Because she asks me questions all the time. Our marketing team meets once a week, and she's always there to ask questions about keywords and content requirements and literature. She's continuing to challenge. And then the web copywriting. What she does here is she really broke it down. So when she gets paid, it may seem like, wow, how do I know? Maybe if we're writing a pillar content, a long piece of content, and we just talked with our friend Joe Pomeroy this morning, but about 70% of her time on any project is going to be in research. So I need to know that that's part of her role. And when she talked about copywriting, there's research and planning. That's a huge part of writing, right? But she wrote that out there. This is great for me because I know what to expect, right? And then it goes on to go into blog writing. I'm not going to go through the whole thing for the sake of time, but I just wanted to kind of show you. She also writes some show notes for the podcast episodes. But I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what a job role might look like. Maybe this will help you out, okay? Once you have a job role down, what's really nice on the job role too there is we did put vision and mission, but you might want to put vision and mission for the company. This is a nice subtle reminder that anything that you're doing in that for that organization, you are aspiring to be somewhere with that organization, and you're also adhering to the mission, where the company as a collective, what we're striving to do every single day in and day out, right? So I might suggest adding in the company vision and the company mission below the vision and mission of that specific job roles and responsibility. So that is a job roles and responsibility. If you have any questions, please, by all means, let me know. Now, the next part of this, I'm going to be going into a workflow. Now, because I understand what that job role and responsibilities are, and maybe more importantly, Roanne understands what her roles and responsibilities are. Now we can work to creating a workflow that possibly she will be working with, right, in a web copy workflow. And so I want to share with you what that looks like. So if I click on this, this is a sample workflow. And you see we do a lot of Google Docs and stuff, and we share this stuff. And we're also creating a manual for all this and a manual for all the workflows, so they're all going to be easily found. But what you'll see in here is this web copy workflow. And the workflow is based on the web development process adopted by the company. So the initial contact, learn about the client and their brand through their answers in the questionnaires provided by the company. The completed file should be found in the project folder on Basecamp. The reason why we want to document this thing so detailed moving forward is we plan on growing here on Bottleneck, right? And so if someone else was to come on board to support Rowan, we would want them to use the same workflow, the same process to achieve their objectives, to maintain a very similar outcome, and to also maintain our brand integrity. Plus, it reduces the time frame that we need to learn, or we need to train them, which helps get them up to speed, which costs us less overall for Bottleneck. And as everybody on the team knows, we make the decision first for the company, then for our staff, our internal staff, and then for our clients. And the reason why we do that is we want to make sure, in this case, are we doing everything that's in the best interest of the business? Reason why is we need the business to be profitable, because we need to take care of our staff so that our staff can take care of our clients. Okay. And the main goal of this workflow, or any workflow that we do, is to basically make sure that we're ready to either scale using very similar principles, or if for some reason Rowan goes and onto another deal, or maybe she goes to school, or maybe she wants to, she wants to change her career, and she loves biology. Who knows what will happen in the future? But if we were to have to go out and find a replacement, it would be very easy, or I should say it would be easier for us to bring somebody into her role, because now they have a documented process to follow. And as you can see, I'm leaving this up here on the screen, but you can see here, you can learn about the client, their brand, meet with the client, or study written and or live recordings of client meetings with managing director or owners. Minutes of the meetings or recordings should also be found in the project folder on Basecamp. Needs assessment and feedback. Note the vision, mission statements of the client and assess their needs. An example, refine mission statements, cornerstone content articles by studying meeting recordings and their answers to these questionnaires. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, but you'll also see too, we use visual representations, right? With instructions every time we do this. You may also create a new spreadsheet within the same book and rename it. The reason why we do this is because we want to be crystal clear that every step of the process has been defined for you. And keep in mind, all of our workflows are living, breathing documents, meaning that we change all the time. The more we learn, the more we grow, the more we share, the more tweaks we need to do, because every day is a learning experience. And as we learn more, we can add on to or change or make suggestions or edits to our existing platform to make it even better. And a lot of that is feedback that we get from people. So I don't want to go into too much detail there. I'm going to share my screen one more time. But if you look in this web copy workflow, as you scroll down, without going into reading all of this, you can see how detailed we are on documenting the entire process. And I really want to commend Rowan on this one specifically, because she did such a fantastic job of creating this workflow. So those are the two things that need to be in place in order to delegate effectively. Remember, when you delegate effectively, number one, you're delegating through the use of job roles and responsibilities, which is what we covered there. And the second thing is to get a step-by-step documented workflow of the process that needs to happen. This is going to do a couple things for you. Number one, it's going to let you know if you are ready to hire somebody. If you have somebody on board, it's going to let you know that, hey, you need to get organized. If you don't have this in place, get it in place. The second thing, and this is kind of like a 30,000-foot view, but if you're building your business to sell it later on down the road, systems are an incredible asset that only you in your business can have. And the more detailed documentation, workflow, system, process oriented you can make your business, the more valuable it becomes. Not only will it run more efficiently, but you'll also have an opportunity to easily share what it is that you do if that time does indeed come where you want to sell your company. Well, they'll be able to go through and see exactly how everything it is that you're doing. And if you have an incredibly successful business and you're ready to go on to the next season of your life, selling a business can be a very exciting time in your life. So work towards that. You never know what's going to happen, right? You don't know what the future holds. But if you work hard, develop the systems and the processes according to the missions and values and the visions that you've set forth in your own organization, it's going to make things a lot easier. This all too helps prevent overwhelm. It is challenging up front. I will let you know that it's challenging because it's time consuming. It's thought provoking. And you have to play a big part in this. When I first started, I was the one that wrote the job roles, and I was the one that wrote the workflows. Now that we're growing, I don't do that as much because I don't have to. Our staff in the last couple of years, they've been doing the workflows. They've been writing the job roles, and I get a chance to review them to hear it from their perspective or read it or see it from their perspective. And it's done incredible things for the growth of our company, the communication, the organization. It's just been fantastic. So I won't take any more of your time. I hope you enjoyed this Facebook Live. It went in a little bit more detail than I initially anticipated, but thank you to Yang for telling me this will help to delegate and be more organized, because we had a little brainstorming session on that earlier. Thank you, everybody at Bottleneck. Thank you for tuning in here to Facebook Live. If you want to learn more about us here at Bottleneck and how we can help you stop the bottleneck in your business, go to bottleneck.online. And if you'd like to have a consultation with us, it's free. You can go to bottleneck.online/inquiry. Love to hear any feedback that you have or any questions that you have here. I'll be happy to answer them. And hopefully you have a fantastic day. Thanks again for tuning in to the Bottleneck Facebook Live every Wednesday morning, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. My name is Jaime J. I'm the managing director and founder of Bottleneck Virtual Assistants. And we definitely love to help you stop the bottleneck in your business. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.